Hockey season is upon us. Teams are making their final decisions for their rosters. The Pens already have theirs, and we all know for the top six, it's going to be Crosby, Getzel, Rickard Rakell, and second line centerman, Evgeny Malkin. He's going to have Brian Rust on his wing, and this year he's going to have Rowdy Smith, who was traded to Pittsburgh from the Vegas Golden Knights coming off the 2023 Stanley Cup Championship. Rowdy Smith, who's 32, he's still in his prime. I think he can score 20 goals this season, pushing maybe the 30 with help from Evgeny Malkin. So yeah, I think he can score. Rust, after a rough year, if he was going to bounce back and put up 30 goals, finally, I really think it's going to happen. And for third-line centerman with the bottom six, we got Jeff Carter, who will be third-line centerman, who's going to be brutal this year. Not in a good way, because he's slow and old. This is going to be rough. And also for the bottom six, we got Weishauer, Stanley Cup champion from the Washington Capitals. And we got a bunch of guys that I personally never heard of. So, this year for the Pens, it's a new look with management. Kyle Dubas coming from Toronto after embarrassing multiple exits, but they made progress last year, but they ended up losing in 5 games to the Florida Panthers. So yeah, Kyle Dubas is the Pens' new general manager, hockey, of wherever you call it, and he's the one's making the trades, the signings, and all that. And replacing Ron Hextall, who just destroyed the team last year, making in so much old players. And this year, not much young. The Pens are pretty much the same, oldest team in the league right now. And they added some, young, but not young pieces. For defense, we got Chad Reel, who's mostly just a bottom defenseman that's going to play mostly in important games because he has the experience and when there's injuries. Ryan Shea, don't know anything about. Ryan Graves, that's a player that I heard a lot of people say was a good pickup for the Pens. We got Marcus Pettersson, who's going to play second pairing defenseman with Tang, because I heard Erik Karlsson, and that's the big one. Erik Karlsson, who's younger, who had a resurgence career season, won the Norris Trophy. We traded him in a 3-way deal, which got rid of D. Smith, Jeff Petrie, John Ruda, Michael Granlund, which was incredible. We got rid of Granlund and Jeff Petrie, who was slow and old. But still, this Penguins team is still the oldest team in the league. It's not like they got anything that is going to be deadly coming up right now. The only good young thing they got is Peel Joseph, and he is probably going to be the Pens' best D-man for years to come and is just developing really, really well. Good thing we traded Kessel for him. That's a good trade, looking back at it years later. For goaltenders, we got Jari, who we're hoping plays amazing. I don't agree with the contract we gave him because he's never won a playoff series. He struggled in the playoffs and in the regular season. He's hurt a lot, and he got pulled multiple times last year, and D. Smith had to go in net, or the third option if D. Smith was injured. So for the Pens, I don't agree with the Kyle Dubas trading for Erik Karlsson. I think we're done, to be honest. We should have just embraced a rebuild, but Crosby didn't want to do that. He wants to contend for more cups, and if Kyle Dubas wins the Pens a cup in 12 months, I'll admit I was wrong. I can't admit I was wrong, and if he does win us, I'll take back on the Erik Karlsson trade. And we got Chris Letang, best Penguins defenseman of all time, still in the organization, still playing well, and Crosby and Malkin. But the question is for the Pens this year, is the bottom six, can they produce? Because what struggled with the Pens last season was the lack of bottom six depth scoring. That really hurt the team. And could Crosby have another point per game season this year? And again, Malkin, can they still play really, really good at their age? Malkin almost 38. Crosby's 36. That's the question, because Father Time is coming. They can't keep playing at an amazing, talented, almost to elite level, because they're getting older. Time is running out. So the question is, Getzel, I already see him produce, and my prediction, he's gonna score 30 goals, and Rickard Rakell is also gonna produce really good, because they're still in the last few years. They're still in their primes, and Rickard Rakell was in his last few years with Riley Smith. Drew O'Connor, I know, is going to make a good bottom six asset because he's young. I'm pretty sure maybe some other players in this roster are young. But what's going to be different this year is Letang is going to be a second pairing, while Erik Karlsson takes the reign as the first pair, because they're not going to put Letang and Erik Karlsson on the same line. The only time they're going to be playing is either on the power play or extra attacker. And for the Pens this year, even though I don't think we should have done this, I'm still going to be a fan and watch them. If this is another where it's over, it's time to rebuild. Because we traded a first-round pick for Erik Karlsson. And another question other fans have been saying across the week, can Karlsson do what he did in 2023 with his resurgent, an amazing comeback year? 100 points, Norris Trophy winner. He's the reigning Norris winner, and Karlsson hasn't been playing before last year, wasn't playing that amazing level since 2017 and his first year in San Jose, which was 2019. And his points did drop when he was playing with Brent Burns. And so what are my expectations as a Pens fan, even though I don't work for them? I think is just if they're going to contend, is get back into the playoffs and have the bottom six contribute, because we can't just rely on Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, Getzel in the top six to do all the job in Letang on defense and Karlsson. And Marcus Pettersson, I almost forgot that, is going to be paired. He's going to be paired with Karlsson most likely because he's younger. And it would be one thing that's interesting. P.L. Joseph, he's going to be mentored by Erik Karlsson and Letang since he's still young. But for the Pens this year, I would say is get back into the playoffs and win the first round, because they haven't won a playoff series since Game 6 of 2018, and that was against the Flyers, which they would later go on to lose the Stanley Cup and not three-peat in 2018. Which they would lose to the Washington Capitals. They haven't won a playoff series in so long. Well, not so long, but 6 years it's going to be. So what do I think is going to happen? If they play an amazing well and show they still got it, and Crosby and Malkin are still putting up points per game and playing at an elite level, I'll gladly shut my mouth and say I was wrong. And if they win a cup in 12 months, I'll take back what I said about Kyle Dubas as a GM and trading for Erik Karlsson. But for now, only time will tell. What if they don't bounce back? That's the question. I guess sell, but the only big piece that can help you get an asset is Jake Getzel, because he's on an expiring contract this year, which I hope they re-sign. And they can't rebuild the Pens because they got players signed to no moves. The core's stacked for 5+ years. So, and also this is the first year Letang is going to have a new defense partner, since Dumo was part of his D pair for a long time and Brian Dumo's gone. And the last thing I'll say about Jari, I really hope he plays amazing, wins 30 games, gets into the playoffs, and hopefully finally win a playoff series, because I really don't agree with the contract they gave him, $5 million. And he's never won a playoff series, struggled, and he's hurt a lot, as I said. And He's also been pulled multiple times last year. He's struggled in the regular season. So yeah, it's a big risk this Penguins team is taking, but I'm still gonna be a fan all year. So yeah, my thing is get back into the playoffs and win a playoff round. If you can win 2, then we'll talk about a cup. So yeah. And where do I think they'll finish? I say a wild card or third place in the Metro Division. What do you think the Pens will do?